Hey everyone, this is Shay, and as you all know, this is presentation 3. So here it goes. Hello, Miss Victim. In my hand, I have your retainer agreement. In consideration of the acceptance by Barry Barrister of this case referred to in this retainer agreement that you will sign today on a contingent fee basis, it is agreed that this shall form a part of the said retainer agreement and be incorporated therein as if it were fully set in forth in this agreement. In the event that you, the client, at any point desire to change attorneys or otherwise require Barry Barrister to withdraw from the case, Barry Barrister shall be entitled to fees from you on the percentage basis set forth in the attached retainer agreement, as you see right now. And this is based upon any settlement offered by the opposing party prior to the date of withdrawal, or if no settlement offer has been made on an hourly basis. The client, which is you, directs Barry Barrister not to withdraw from this matter unless he has been paid the larger of the two possible fees or arrangements for the said payment that has been made to his satisfaction. So basically, this is just defining the scope of representation for this case. And you know that you will be suing your former professor for assault and battery as a result of the incident in the grocery store. So, as defined by Rule 1.5 in reference to fees, it states that you need to have the scope of representation clearly and diligently and also reasonably communicated to you. So the undersigned client does hereby retain Barry Barrister in regard to the certain matter as follows. So I just made sure that you know that this is what we're representing you in. So now I will go over the fees and things of that nature. So it is already understood and it is agreed that you will pay Barry Barrister for his services that are going to be rendered. So since we are doing the contingency fee payment, it will be 30% of any type of settlement by way of judgment, by way of trial, anything like that. Whatever you get, Barry Barrister is entitled to 30% of that. And also, in addition to that 30%, we have to deduct the expenses. So let's say you get rewarded $200,000 for, your case. You won't get that full $200,000. You have to take into account any deduction of expenses. So, for the sake of this example, let's say that there was a $20,000 court expense for this case. That has to be deducted. And as well as that being deducted, you also have to deduct the 30%, which is the contingency fee. So, 200,000, and then you deduct 20,000 from that, which is the expense for this example, and then that leaves you with 180,000. But that's before the contingency fee is taken from there. So you deduct 30,000 from the 180,000, not 30,000, but 30% from that 180,000, and that gives you 54,000. So deduct that from the 180,000 and that leaves you with 126,000. So that's just making sure that you understand that whatever the court renders to be your settlement amount or whatever in that nature, you have to make sure that you know that there are going to be fees and also court costs and expenses that will be deducted from that. So I'm just making sure that you understand the scope of the agreement in this case, the scope of representation, also the fee arrangement and fee agreement. So by signing this agreement, you have adequately been explained, like this has been explained to you and you understand and you accept. So the fees and the costs associated with this agreement has been diligently defined as called for by ABA Rule 1.5 in reference to fees that explicitly states that a lawyer shall not make an agreement for a charge or collect an unreasonable fee or a reasonable amount for expenses. The factors to be considered in determining the reasonableness of the fee include the following. So if you need to reference that rule to know more about it, I can definitely